Hey friends, it's Claudine from Foxy Finances. I was just sitting at my desk and I was filling out my budget for each paycheck because I have started doing a legit budgeting by paycheck. And I created a new little worksheet for myself, and I have 4 of them because we're going to have 4 paychecks a month. So I thought I would film this and see if maybe this is helpful for you, or maybe you've got some tips for me. I've been budgeting for a very long time, but I actually always budgeted by paycheck essentially, but I didn't really ever have a plan per paycheck. I just sort of did like all the stuff early in the month and then all the stuff later in the month. And there's 2 of us in my household, so myself and my husband. And so between the 2 of us, we get 4 paychecks a month, usually. So now here's the tricky thing, and we can talk about this later, but March has, for me, 3 paychecks. For him, it will only have 2 still. But for me, there's 3. So trying to figure out how to budget that into this is going to be a little tricky. I haven't really figured it out yet, but over here you can see this is March. So I got paid on the 1st, and I'm going to get paid on the 15th, and I'm going to get paid on the 29th. And the trick here is that usually I do sort of early check, late check for the month, but unfortunately this one was so early, and then this one is going to be so late that I don't know if I should move this one to like the end in terms of like my later check. I don't know. I can't even really think about that right now, to be honest. So I would love to hear in the comments how you guys who do budget by paycheck handle a 3rd check for a month, because it only happens, I think, twice a year, maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 times, I'm not sure. But this is the first one for this year, and I'm not really sure what to do. I feel like I might just take this one out and just put it into savings, or pay it off with pay off debt, pretend like it doesn't exist, and then just use these 2. But let me show you what I've got, and then we can go from there. So this is what I made, and I filled out this first one already. So my pay is always the same amount. It's $1,500. It's not gross, it's actually after taxes. But then for side hustles, this month, today I made $75, and then I also made $60. So I'm just gonna do a running total of any income that I get additionally. So whether it's from babysitting or, babysitting or whatever, it's going to go on this line, and then I'll add it up at the end and then figure that into the next paycheck probably. So I have also put down how I'm going to do this, because some of the stuff I leave in the bank and some of the money I take out in cash. Because if I'm paying a bill, which is this case is my Visa bill, which is where I put most of my expenses for the house, things like any utility bills or any kind of bills that can be charged to a credit card go on this specific card because we want to have the points for it. And then I always pay it off at the end of the month. So the only way that I would be doing this is if I knew I could pay it off at the end of the month. If I can't do that for whatever reason, then I stop doing that, and I would go back to paying them all manually, because I don't want to hold any credit card debt past a month. I don't want any interest on my credit cards. So this is a credit card, the Barclays card, and I'm going to allocate of my check $250, and then savings challenges an additional $50, so that is $300, and then this is usually about $1,200 for the month. So I just put all of that onto this check, and I like to do zero-based budget. So I suspect that many of you know what that is if you're here on my channel, but a zero-based budget means that you basically allocate every single penny, down to the penny, of your income to something. So whether it's to bills, to savings, to sinking funds, to savings challenges, to spending money, whatever it may be, you have to account for each dollar, because that's what a zero-based budget is. And I also have kind of done that in like a halfway kind of way. I always thought of myself as a zero-based budgeter, but it turns out that I was really being too flexible with it. And I find that when I have more structure with my budget, I'm a lot more successful. So I'm really buckling down this year to try to have a lot more systems and processes in place and create some really good habits for myself. So this is the first check. We've already received this. It was March 1st. I took that out of the bank. I've already stuffed it into here, into this binder, which has the back to the bank for credit cards. It's got an envelope for savings challenges, and then of course this stays in the bank. So that is already done. Let's do the next one. So the next paycheck for me, and you can see Claudine, that's me, is going to be, well, I'm going to just skip the March 15th one, I think, because here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say March 15th and 29th, but I'm going to just leave that up in the air until I decide how I want to do it. So I think next time I print this, I'm going to pre-print my amounts because this is always the same. Actually, I should put it in the other side. That's fine. I'm going to leave it here. Side hustles are blank. So for right now, I'm going to leave it blank, but it will be essentially $1,500. Now this paycheck is the one that I use for my cash stuffing. And if you scroll back, you'll see I did a cash stuffing video for you all and for myself, which was super helpful for me to be able to write it all down and then have it in a place where I can look back and see what I did. So I have takeout and cash, of course, leave in the bank. So I'm going to do this and I'll show you what I do. So I'm going to leave in the bank. I have money that comes out automatic. I usually call it auto savings, but I'm just going to call it automatic, and that's $175. So I can't take that out of the bank because it's going to be deducted directly from my bank account into other savings accounts. And then my emergency fund, I have to transfer that because it's in a high yield savings account, and that is $125. This is going to go up hopefully, but right now I'm still trying to work it out and figure out how to make this make sense. Okay, so this will be $300. Ironically, I just realized that this check is like the opposite of the other check in terms of taking out cash and going back to the bank or leaving in the bank. Okay, so here's the good stuff. So this is everything I'm taking out. And so I'm going to do Costco and fuel because I usually try to get my gas at Costco. I bump that up. If you saw my other video, I was doing 100, and I just realized, I went to get gas the other day and I realized that gas prices have gone up pretty much like everything else, and I have to drive a pretty good distance to get to work. So even though I do work hybrid and work from home some days, I needed to bump it up from 100. So 140 for now. We'll see. That's always can go up or down if I needed to. Hopefully down, but we'll see. And then cat supplies is going to be an envelope, and that is 100 that I allocate. Amazon, I said before that I am using up some gift cards, which is awesome, but eventually I won't have the gift cards, and we do a lot of online purchases, so I need to have 100 in there. Prescriptions, about 100, and I'm gonna unstuff my prescription envelope soon so I can see how much I have left, because I think it's going to be different every month, but for the most part 100 is a good amount. So I give my husband money to spend for the month, and I give him 300, and that's for his gas for his car to get to work and stuff, and then also he gets a haircut like every 2 weeks, so that 300 is what we decided he needs. And then couponing is kind of just my hobby, so that's $50. And I may go down on that because I do a lot of rebate apps, and so I try to pretty much have my couponing, fun, and that will come out of the rebate apps, and I just have it go onto a debit card. So there's really usually no coupon money does not come out of my budget, but because prices are increasing and I do coupon for things that I need, like a lot of toilet paper and body wash and toothpaste and toothbrushes and all those things. So I did give myself a budget for that because it's essentially those kinds of things that you would need to stock up on every month. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to give a savings challenge too. And that will only be $10 because I did 50 for the last check. So So this is it, and this is $1,200. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. We'll figure this out. But I've got my second month done, or second check, not second month. This is all March. This is all staying in March here. All right, so then the other two here are for my husband's checks. And these are variable. He is an independent contractor. So his checks, the amount is sometimes different and the dates are, they fluctuate really. So I'm just gonna put paycheck 1 and paycheck 2 because I had to figure out how I was going to do this. I don't think I can write and talk at the same time. I had to figure out how to do this for the bills because his checks generally pay most of our bills. Mine have been paying more as his checks fluctuate. So, but we're gonna do $3,400 for each one, but I'll do them separately. We do have, I actually put this down here in the leave in the bank, so I'll do this side, but I'll tell you what I'm doing. So we have to save out tax because he doesn't have taxes taken out, and it's $1,085. So actually what I might do is put that up here and then subtract it out, but I do need it down here so I can remember how much I actually need to leave in the bank. And then we have a school loan that is $836. And I did round a couple of these because I don't like dealing with change, and I'd rather have a buffer anyway, so I always round up. And then the electric is $112. Wastewater is $57. And college savings, or just really college tuition at this point, is $400. We'll put college dollars. Okay, so this is $24.90 in leave in the bank. And then the rest of the side should be $910 because of the zero budget, the zero-based budget. Not a zero budget. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Okay, so I have vacation. And these are all, because I'm taking these out in cash, if it's not clear, these are all envelopes. So I take these out in cash so I can put them into my envelopes. Now, some of the envelopes may stay in the envelopes. If they're a sinking fund, they're going to stay in there a long time. But if it's something like to pay a credit card or for a payment of some sort, depending on how frequent it is, I may put it in here just to kind of allocate it, and then I'll put it back in the bank at some point when I need to pay off the whatever it is, the expense. So vacation gets 40. And then we have the 2 breaks, which are spring break and fall break, and those each get 20. So that's 40 for those 2. And then I have a home warranty, and this is for the actual payment. We pay that twice a year. And so, nope, we pay that once a year. So I have to save up quite a bit for that. So that's $80 every paycheck. Every month I have to save out $80 for the home warranty. And I have a separate envelope for the home warranty deductible in case they have to come out and fix something. So every time they come out for the home warranty, it's $80, also coincidentally $80. And this is how much I just happen to save. But I have $100 in the deductible because I just like to have a buffer. All right, so that's the home warranty. We have life insurance payment, and that is $300. I think we pay those twice a year for each of us. So I save $300 a month, and then whenever they come at different times, they come due, and then I have it in here. So that's a good example of one of my sinking funds. That is a longer term sinking fund. All right, birthdays and gifts. I'm only giving those $10 right now, but this is going to need to go up because I realized the other day I don't have a specific like winter holiday savings, that needs to happen. So I'm going to save it in here, but because we have so many birthdays and smaller gift giving things that happen throughout the year, I think I probably need to have a separate envelope for like Christmas and New Year's, I guess. So anyway, that's going to be forthcoming, but for now we'll do $10 in this. Car maintenance is gonna get 20. The hot tub supplies are getting 50 until we build it up a little bit more. And then the aviator card, or actually it's called the Barclays card that I budgeted for $250 is also going to get $250 from this check. And then this is my Invisalign. I don't know how to spell that. It's 120. All of my side hustle money goes towards my Invisalign, but because I'm not entirely sure that I can save up enough just with side hustles, it's about $3,600 that we still have left, and that is going to be due in June. So in order to pay it off fully by June, I need to probably supplement it with this, and we'll see. If I can do it, then I'll do it on my own, and we won't need to take it out of this check. But this is $910. So zero-based budget, it equals 34. So 910 and then $24.90. And then for his second check, whenever that happens to come around, is going to have a lot less cash and leaving more in the bank, but we're going to start with the same amount of $3,400. And I don't remember what I did, and so I'm looking at my notes over here, and I just had to laugh because so we have pizza every Friday. We call it, of course, Pizza Friday. And so I actually put in a line item here for Pizza Friday and $21. And I'm going to tell you why that is in just a second. So let's do the side. So leaving in the bank is going to be the tax money at $10.85. And then my cell phone, Verizon, is $175. The mortgage payment is $13.19. Escrow, we save $600, and this and then college is going to also get some from this check, and that's going to get $200. So escrow, I don't know if you guys escrow if you own homes or not, but there's this isn't actually escrow, because when you escrow, and I'm not a realtor, but this is how I think it works, basically, that when you escrow your property tax or your homeowner's insurance, it kind of gets rolled into your mortgage somehow, and so it comes out of your mortgage payment, and it's added in, and so you don't actually have to pay it, is what I'm saying. Like, we've done this before with our previous house, that I didn't have to pay it, it just got added into the mortgage, and it was taken care of for me. But the bank that we are mortgaged with for this house doesn't do that, but I still wanted to plan it as escrow, so I call it escrow, but it's really not. It's just a savings, and this is a savings for our property tax and our homeowner's insurance. Property tax is paid twice a year, and in the spring and in the fall, and homeowners, I think we just do that once a year. So I think this gets a larger sum because I need to save it up all year. So again, sinking funds, great example. Okay. So the reason that this gets $21 is because, I didn't even add it up. Okay, well, I can't add it because I don't have a calculator, and I'm using my phone to film this, which is usually how I use my calculator. So you will just have to take my word for it, but this equals $3,400 minus 21. So that's why I have 21. So I could do the math, but that's just going to be embarrassing, so I'm not going to do it. But you'll just imagine that there is a total here, and that when you take these two, they equal $3,400. So I don't think I need $21 every month for Pizza Friday, but I might. This is kind of silly. I just couldn't think of anything else to do with it, and I feel like I've already put enough into my savings challenges, so this is going to be for March, but we may switch this into something else, probably into my Invisalign fund. But I have been doing sourdough bread, and I have a sourdough starter, and I love to make sourdough pizza dough, and so that basically just costs like a bag of flour every month or so, and a jar of pizza sauce and some cheese and whatever toppings. So it won't cost this much a month, but it is four times a month. So I don't know, maybe it will. We'll see. Okay, so I feel like this to me makes sense. I hope that this is making sense for you, and I hope that it's helpful for you. I would love to hear some feedback on whether or not you guys budget by paycheck, and then also if you do anything like this and how you figure out how you're going to do each paycheck, because it took me quite a while, honestly. I had to sit down with all 4 of these out on a different, I have like my working ones over here. I took my expenses. Let me show you what I've got. So I had to take all my expenses. I wrote them all down here, and then I had to like figure stuff out. To be honest, I started to film a video with this, but I like hit the camera and it shook and it was so stupid, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is boring. I don't know. If you guys want to see me go through all of my expenses, I'd be happy to show you, because this is basically this, but there's a little bit more. But I think that's the first step. So if you're interested, if you do not budget by paycheck, but you want to start, I'll tell you what I did. And let me give you my disclaimer that I am not a financial planner. I am just a girl who likes to budget, and I've been doing it for a while. But I'm not perfect, and I'm not an expert. So this is just what I do. But I do think it's important to first figure out all of your bills, all of your actual bills, whether they're fixed bills or variable bills. You can always estimate when they're due and how much they are. And that's the first step. And then basically from there, you just plot it out. And that's what I did, was I had them all written down. And then I kind of was like, okay, if I have a bill due, like the mortgage is a good example. The mortgage is due on the 1st. So I have to use the second paycheck to pay the mortgage, because the second paycheck is usually around, maybe the 20th or the 25th of the month. And that would be perfect. So for March, when I get that check, I will pay the mortgage for April and have it sent in and be ready to go before April 1st. So I'm not late. And that's how I had to figure out all of these bills. Same thing with Verizon and, well, these guys are not really, these are kind of open-ended. But I think the point is that, ultimately I would love to be a month ahead and have enough buffer in my bank account that I don't have to worry about, like, what if this check is late and what am I going to do? So I am definitely working on the month ahead plan, but I'm essentially like I'm like half a month ahead is how I look at it, because I am able to pay all the bills. I kind of had it separated out by the month. So I had all the early bills and then all the late month bills, and the early bills were paid with the later month check, and the later month bills were paid with the early check. So I don't know, that probably doesn't make sense, but maybe you know what I mean. I think you might know what I mean. So I'm half a month ahead and working towards having a full buffer for a month ahead. Okay, well, that's a lot, but I am done, and this is it. And I've got March budgeted, and here we are already in March, and things are looking good. So I feel good about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this in some way. I would love to hear, if you did not enjoy it, do not tell me, because I don't want to hear that. I just want to hear if you liked it. But don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can see all the other rambling, crazy, fun videos that I film and share with you guys, because this is my journey and I love to take you with me. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.